ads that we've run off of me making content have exponentially been better than anything we've ever seen.
One of the reasons that we got to that 356K.
Yeah. It helped elevate our brand in a way. It shows that you need to invest in stuff like that.
Yeah, what is this about? Okay, yeah.
Like, I don't know what this is supposed to cost, right?
Yeah.
To get there through an ad, that ad has to be good. How we've kind of laid it all out and really spoke to what the customer's pain points are and how our product helps them converts.
Welcome back, everyone. Last episode, we talked about month 1 and 2 and going from 100K ARR to 144. Still growth, still good, but these next 2 months, we just hit 356K ARR. So listen up here, guys. The snapshot for November and December, founder-led content, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, few subscription issues as well, major subscription issues actually. And then also different type of content as well that we uploaded. So these are the 2 months that got interesting. First thing is we were open to founder-led content.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your thinking on that.
Yeah, it's something that really works. There's lots of examples of it working.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of other people that I admire out there doing it across many industries, right? And, if you can do it successfully, it gives you an unfair advantage of, being able to have another distribution line and channel. Now, I wasn't all that just immediately comfortable with me being all over my friends' Instagrams, right?
Yeah.
So I had to get comfortable with that. But I invested in making content, made some podcasts like this, joined other podcasts, and were able to kind of clip up me talking about the product. And, the main lesson is like, no one's going to know it better than I am.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to talk about it and explain the benefits and be able to kind of like influence someone to want to purchase it like you, the founder. And we've seen that, our ads that we've run off of me making content have exponentially been better than anything we've ever seen. It literally has changed the trajectory of the company. In particular, this one ad where I'm talking for maybe 20 seconds about why our product's different. And so I guess if you're watching this, I would just encourage you to do it. You kind of got to do it, get over the hump. It's not a big deal. And it's really effective.
And from this, Jim, we also mentioned to our other partners and other clients as well to start doing founder-led content. Mm-hmm. Do they gravitate towards it immediately? No. Right.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit uncomfortable to go make that type of content. But the best thing about the ad that you had made there was it was scalable as well, right? With some of the static ads and other ads that we had found, they weren't scalable, but this one, you could just keep pushing conversions, CPR.
It's still working today.
Still working, yes.
And we've made variations of it, added some B-roll to it. There's lots of different things you can do with it.
And CPR climbs up a little bit, right, as we start to scale it. But that's usually typical in the ad platforms as well, but not by much, maybe $1 or something like that, not too much.
Yeah.
But that ad started crushing. One of the reasons that we got to that 356K ARR. I think on top of that as well, something we wanted to take advantage of was TikTok during this time to open up a omnichannel marketing approach. Mm-hmm. I remember we tried TikTok. We tried to get into TikTok shop, but just with the product and some of the limitations around there, we weren't able to get in the shop for TikTok. But we did go and start running Google during this time, which you guys had tried before as well. And how did that go before when you guys had tried it?
We were never able to crack Google. Again, we were doing it on our own and had no experience. So, it's not to say that it wouldn't work, but what we had done with it just wasn't successful. And in particular, when you just compare it to Meta, Meta's bringing us customers, Google wasn't. And when you have a limited budget, you got to put the money where, you're getting results. So, in theory, it should work, right? The users and the people on Google have more intent.
Yep.
They're searching for some sort of thing that resembles your product or your product, but we can never figure it out. And so, you guys did, and it's really important. It's actually getting better and better and better. and you don't want to be reliant on one channel. Meta is dominant in terms of ad spend in the DTC world, and that's okay. They should be. They're great at it, but you always want to have another way to be getting customers.
Yeah, and you never know with ad platform changes. This has happened with other partners in the pharma space, where their ad accounts will just get shut down. Like imagine if Meta just dropped right now.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about 1.4,
right.
1.5, right? So it would start going down. So big risk to the business. I was actually nervous as well going on Google. I knew generally it was going to be high intent, but when I hear that, hey, we've tried it before, it didn't work and led to 0 conversions, I'm like, okay, let's approach this channel with a little bit less ad spend, but started driving conversions immediately.
Yeah.
Just after a few days, which was promising.
Yeah.
De-risk the platform as well on Meta side.
Yeah. What I get asked a lot about people that are new to this is like, how much money do I need to test it? Either on Google or on Meta, right? Like, how do I know if a channel is going to work or not? You just got to test it. You got to have enough budget to do that. I don't know that there's an exact number about it. You probably have a better idea than I do, but you need to get some data rolling through to see if it works.
Yeah. I have a number around it, but it depends on the financial situation as well, right? If the person that's starting this company that doesn't have too many funds at that moment as well, but usually we'll aim for $1,000 minimum per month on each channel. But it's also setting up the right approach. So you're not just coming in, boost, post, and see what happens. That's where people screw up.
Post boosting.
Post. So you don't want to necessarily do that, because then you end up wasting your ad dollars, and then you're like, oh, Meta's not promising. Google's not promising. It's not working. Be thoughtful. Don't be sitting there at night and you get like an ad from Google or ad from Meta and you're like, oh, let's go run it for 5 days and leave it.
Like Meta in particular, they literally just send it to your phone. You're looking at your account and it's like, boost this post for $15. That shit doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's the way that because it'll drive traffic, engagement, and it'll show you, oh, if I put a little bit of money, I get this back. But eventually you want to get to a point where you're spending $300K a month, $2 million a month on ads, because you're bringing back $8 million a month, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I think it can happen, by the way.
Yeah.
I just got to push you a little bit more on the ad spend side.
Yeah. It's already scaled quite a bit.
It has. Let's also talk about, so we just talked about TikTok. That didn't work out for us as the Omnichannel. Google started working out really well for Omnichannel and de-risking the account. But talk to me about subscription issues. You told me about something 40% of transactions.
Yeah.
Tell me about this. What happened?
So the platform that we were using, the subscription software, wasn't processing the transactions. And on a given day, we could be failing 40% of those kind of staged orders that we had. That's just, you're not going to have a successful business with that. And it's a problem. Customers want the product. They want you to charge them for it. And the software you're using doesn't work.
So what was the problem? Was it the software?
There's always, not to like completely blame it on the software, because there's always going to be issues with customers' cards and insufficient funds and things like that. But the percentage of failures was too high to not make a change.
Organic churn. Right. Yeah.
And there were other issues and whatnot. And there's lots of softwares out there, and especially as a founder in my shoes, there's softwares for everything, and there's 20 of them for each thing, right? And so you kind of got to get good at picking the right one. And if you pick the wrong one, especially in something that is so important to your business, it really wastes a lot of time. And we had to make a switch, and so we made a switch. And if you have a subscription business, it touches everything in your business. Your customer communications through Klaviyo, your flows, everything that triggers that. How you're tagging customers, how you tag them in Shopify, everything touches that. And so it's a big deal. So we made a switch, and we picked the wrong one. It's better than the original one,
right?
But we now are switching off of that one to go to this one that we're very confident in. If you want to know what that is, just message me. I don't want to talk bad about anybody.
So if you were to pick another subscription or a software for something else, what's your approach when it comes to picking a software now?
I want to know that everything that's out there.
Okay.
I want to see like what is my playing field.
Okay.
I want to kind of see what people are saying about them. That kind of third party validation is good.
Yep.
Talk to customers if you can find them.
Yeah.
You know, there's usually logos on their site. Run demos. Have a real detailed process and like what are these features that you get in each one? Is there a variation between them? And is there a cost difference? You know, and sometimes you make the wrong choice.
Yeah.
But you gotta take it really seriously, because if you make the wrong choice, you know, I'm now going to spend probably the next month getting this new software up, and it's important. It's worth it, and it's something I got to do. I wish I didn't have to do it, but
Yeah.
it's the right choice.
People underestimate like how valuable it is to know someone that has tried several different tools, or I also have seen the tools that you've used and what works the best for you. And shameless little plug is when someone joins us now, we send over a list of recommended tools.
Yep.
And that for me is gold, whether it's like someone just wanting a lead generation form, what is the best tool? What is the right CRM to use? Depending on the business that we're onboarding, B2B or B2C or e-commerce. But
shout out to limited supply and like e-commerce groups like that.
Communities.
And you can just straight up ask, what are you using? And, you know, what have you found? Do you like this? Do you like that? And, you know, you don't have to just go with what they say, but you're gathering inputs that help you make the decision.
Yeah. And while we're shouting out limited supply, I think we should also shout out Shin for making this possible, because we got introduced together and had this partnership through Shin who got us in touch. So shout out to you, Shin, and we'll put your face up on right now.
I just sent Shin some product. He's down in Cancun, Mexico.
I saw him make some content from it.
Yeah, we got a Shin reel. Shin, your reel's crushing, man.
You want to use for ads or no?
We could.
We could try it. We could try it. Okay, so let's also talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Obviously, November time, this is when you start prepping for these sort of things. Also, New Year's as well. I mean, your product is health focused, wellness focused. So that New Year time frame was actually a lot more exciting for me, more than Black Friday, Cyber Monday at the same time. But how do you think that went?
You know, there's all this kind of fanfare in e-commerce around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, rightfully so. But, you know, what I've found is that it's not just a weekend. It's not just a day. You know, those days are usually quite good and people are ready to and looking to spend their money. But it's a whole season to me. And that Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend was good, and November was good. But I think 60% growth on our revenue in December compared to November. Yeah. So you know, it just keeps going, and you got to really treat it as this whole season of opportunity. And then into the new year, some people call that like Q5. Yeah. Especially for a product like ours, which is wellness, we just kept growing, and you know, a lot of this has to do with the foundation that we set in those months where we didn't grow too much with you, and that we talked about in earlier episodes. But the new brand, the winning ad, everything was there. And then I remember you told me like, hey, this is working. You need to scale your ad spend. And I, you know, as a bootstrap founder who's losing money, that's scary to do. It's coming out of my bank account. Pocket. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had spent the whole entire year in 2024 using my own funds to keep the business afloat. And you're telling me, hey, 3x your ad spend. Yeah. And I knew that it was an investment in the future, but it was still hard to do. But that single-handedly, like, completely changed the trajectory of the business, and I wouldn't have done it on my own. Yeah. And so just that was worth working with you.
Sometimes it's just the right timing and taking advantage of that, because sometimes those moments won't come back either, right? Yep. So, yeah, everyone has their own thresholds of ad spend. For some people, like $20 a day is a lot, or $30 a day, or $100 a day.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, to get to what we're at now is nuts. It just feels crazy.
Yeah. And another thing for November, Jim, was sort of the content sprint that you guys had as well. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we had just come out with this new brand, right? We had to remake all of our content. And historically, we had been really scrappy with it. This time, we figured, all right, we got to do this right. We used Suna Suna is like a platform to make it easy to get product photos, and they gave us some of the best product photos we've ever had.
Yeah.
And we still use some of them, and that was really impactful just to increase conversion rates. Then we did a lifestyle photo shoot with this new packaging and just our team, and had some friends as models, and it ended up being really good. We had this amazing photographer, shout out Olivia, and it's still stuff that we use today, but it helped elevate our brand in a way that it shows that you need to invest in stuff like that. If whatever you're going to put in front of the customer, you need to spend some money on that. And that isn't what you want to kind of cut corners on.
Yeah.
You don't want to cut corners on the design of your website. You don't want to cut corners on your content. That's what's going to be selling your product and is your brand. So it was important for us to invest in that. And we didn't the first time around, and I think we made the right decision as we got going.
When you were thinking about making that decision that, hey, we're going to get a photographer, do this the right way, have this super professional as well, what was going through your mind? Like, hey, should I do this? Should I not?
Well, you don't know what that is supposed to cost, right?
Right. That's another thing.
And you're like,
what is this about? Okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this is supposed to cost, right?
Yeah.
And I'm lucky I have a friend who's a really great photographer in Chicago. Her name's Olivia. And, it was still expensive. I was like, damn, it's that much? Like, give me the homie discount. But still, no, she deserves that because she made awesome content for us.
It looked great.
And, it's also worth it. Again, like if you want your brand to feel, good and kind of aspirational, you have to pay for it to be. And get professionals who know what they're doing, not you shooting a product, at your house on your iPhone.
On your iPhone.
Go do it right.
On your Android. Let's say someone watching this had 3 options. So they wanted to invest in their website or their packaging or something else maybe. Website. Okay.
Yeah, because, just go through the funnel. How do they get there? They get there through an ad. That ad has to be good. You have to be able to have lots of variations to be able to find it, right? Find what works. Okay, they get to your site. They then need to convert on that site, right? And our old site wasn't converting. Our new one with the design from Leo and how we've kind of laid it all out and really spoke to what the customer's pain points are and how our product helps them converts, right? So it's really the whole thing, the whole step of each funnel. You want to make sure you have good content for each step.
Got it. Also, I think on the Google side, we started getting really good results. Like we mentioned, we were doing search and PMAX. That was going really well. And then I remember in December, and we'll talk about this in the next episode, but there was an idea to build out competitor landing pages to test out competitor campaigns on Google. And I think you guys had started working on some of the competitor landing pages at that point. Anything else to add on your end?
You gotta be ready to go during that time. Have the right inventory amounts, have the right content, and do that in September and October leading up to it.
Yeah.
So you're not, changing shit during the most meaningful time.
Yeah, and you're prepared for it. I have a screenshot on Slack, November 7th. We just hit the best day for Graymatter yesterday. 69 total orders, $2,100 in revenue in a day. Crazy. Sample orders and new subscribers as well. That was on Meta Ads. Crushing.
And at the time, that was a lot compared to what we were doing. Like to do $1,000 in a day was a lot.
Yeah.
Now we'll do that in a morning, but
all right, we get it.
but you gotta kind of like put it in perspective. Yeah. And as the growth happens kind of steadily, you do have to be able to celebrate your wins and look back and like, damn, I've come a long way. Because yeah.
It's been interesting looking at some of the Slack conversations and like the history behind that as well.
Yeah.
Because when we were talking about doing this series here, we're like, oh, what did we do? What really happened? Right. And then as I went through the history, I'm like, oh, we tried this. This was amazing. This worked well. We screwed up here. Subscription-ish, like so many different things going on.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about these things.
So many. Yeah.
All right. So guys, that is it for this episode. End of December, we had ended off at 356K ARR. The next episode we're going to be talking about is going to be January and February. Big episode. Make sure you guys go listen to that. January and February, one of the biggest months that we've had. That took us all the way to 795K ARR. So close to touching that 1 million.
Our manufacturer couldn't keep up with the demand. There's always problems. Kind of seems like the world is like conspiring against you. We would get messages like, hey, I need this. Like, what is that? What's the problem? For me as a founder with purpose, wanting to really help people, like that didn't feel good. It's an opportunity to test your price elasticity.
How's the tangerine flavor?
I like it. It kind of has that like morning orange juice feel.
You know, on the airplane today, it was like the morning, and then that's something I was craving. Just orange juice.